good.
Good to go?
Good to go?
I think so.
Oh, my guy.
Hi, Father.
Yeah.
Do you want to say hi? You might as well.
Hey guys, how you going?
Hey, mate.
Hey, Luke's dad, how are you?
Yeah, good. I'm Trev.
That's good. Hi, Trev.
Nice to meet you, Trev.
Yeah, you too. I just come back from the doctors when I got a skin check. You know,
How'd
good
you
old
go?
things.
How'd you go?
Yeah, it's all right. Have you ever had that liquid nitrogen thing when they freeze stuff?
I've seen my dad get it burned off before.
Oh, it's not good.
No, I can't imagine that would be good.
No, it's not at all. Yeah.
That's why the doctor's using gloves, mate.
I should have kept my mask on.
I'll tell you what, it's no mystery that you two are related.
Yeah, poor kid, eh?
Once that goalie comes in, you're all set, mate. You can go like to a costume party as your dad.
Simon's done that before.
I've done that before.
Well, we sort of, yeah. I'm better looking. I'll leave you to it. Nice to meet you.
Nice
You
to
too,
meet you
mate.
too, mate. Oh, no, you can move that one. Move that one.
I'll bring my ring light up.
Oh, let us get a light.
Yeah, so good.
Just kind of like looks a bit better. Now your setup's unreal.
Oh, sorry?
Your setup's unreal. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I didn't have it like this at the start. It's just sort of like me and my mum, we were randomly sitting and we're like, how could we make it look cool? So we just chucked this in the back.
That's sick. That's bloody awesome.
Huh? You can ask them.
I sort of stopped watching it after that.
But you might as well ask them.
As in like, yeah.
Hey, are you guys going to go back on Gogglebox at all? Or what?
Yeah, mate, next week you'll see us.
Next week.
Oh, yeah? Because I stopped watching it after you left.
Well, I'll come back.
Mate, we were back last season.
I'll be back too then.
Yeah, we'll be back next Thursday. Next Wednesday, Thursday.
Awesome.
In time.
Are you still getting over the what was it called? What was that show you went on?
Oh,
I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. That would have been hard.
Still traumatized, mate.
Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't do that.
No, terrifying, mate.
I reckon you should go on SAS. That'd be good.
Man,
Wouldn't have thought so, mate. No way.
Seriously.
Why do you like watching us suffer?
Why wouldn't you want to jump off a boat onto a helicopter? Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Less about drowning in a plane fuselage.
Anyway, I'll leave you to it. See you later.
Could you guys explain to like the audience who you guys are and what you do?
So we're Adam and Symon. He's Adam and I'm Simon. That's why we're sitting like this. We only ever sit like this. And I suppose you might know who we are because we're on the show Gogglebox, which is on Channel 10 and Foxtel. We're on the show I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. We hosted a show on KO called The Summer Rundown, talking about Big Bash, and a show called The Clubhouse.
And we have our own podcast as well called The Adam and Symon Show. So
Most importantly.
yeah, we're jacks of all trades and masters of none.
Which is actually, if you listen to the whole saying is a jack of all trades is a master of none, but still better than a master of one. So there you go. There's some advice for everyone. Be a jack.
How did you guys like meet? Like, was it just, have you guys been like friends since school or?
We met at uni on the first week of O Week for our postgrad physio course. So we're physios by trade and couch watchers by other trade, I guess it would be. But we met on O Week, for physio. So we met when we were both about 23, 24, 25. Simon was about 30 because he's old. But yeah, been mates since then. So that was 2013.
When did you guys go on start Gogglebox? What was that?
2015. 2015?
Yep, that was the first season was in February of 2015, which sounds like a long time ago now that I say it out loud.
Yeah, that is ages ago. How old were you in 2015, Luke?
I would have been 10.
Perfect.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool. Next question.
How did you get did you just apply for Gogglebox or was it like, how did
So
it?
we were so near our uni. We went to Melbourne Uni, which is right in the middle of Melbourne, because I know that you're in Perth. That's right. So so Melbourne Uni is right in the middle of the city. So around there, there's a lot
Wait,
of
sorry to
bars.
stop you. My mum, she's calling. So
I'm supposed to.
Yeah, let's do it.
get her in.
I want.
Hey, Luke's mum.
Wait, is this speak? Wait, how do you know? Can you?
How you going?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hi guys.
How are you?
Just great.
We're meeting the whole family. We met Luke's dad. Now we're meeting Luke's mum. This is it. This is great.
Thank you so much for doing this for Luke. It's amazing.
Oh, mate, it's absolutely our pleasure. We were late, so thanks to Luke for having the patience to stick with us.
So is Luke. Luke's always late. It's fine.
Perfect. So
Good.
we're actually on time.
Good,
That
good,
works
good.
out. That works really well.
Congratulations on getting married and having babies. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Big year last year
Huge
for Adam.
year.
Big year. Did all of the things at once.
I'm hiding in a storeroom, so I sort of have to go. But lovely to meet you guys.
They are.
Nice to meet you
Lovely
too.
Bye, mother.
See you. Thank you, Loki.
All good.
So we met. So our uni was right in the middle of the city. So around there's lots of different bars and pubs. So it was a Thursday afternoon, and I remember it was a Thursday because it was about 2:00 in the afternoon, and we had no business being at a pub at 2:00 in the afternoon, but we were. And then a person who was scouting for the show came over to our group of mates. There was about 10 of us, and kind of started pitching the show and said, we've got a show. It's about people watching television, and we were, uni student. We like being at university. We know more than anybody. And we're like, you're ruining the world. Like, reality TV is the worst. This is no good. Like, that's the worst idea ever. And like, really just gave her a barrel and just kind of like, look, give me one more chance. The name of the show is Gogglebox. And like, that's the worst name for a TV show ever. Why would you ever call anything that? That's a stupid show. She ended up leaving a piece of paper on the table and said, look, call me if you change your mind. And then Adam put the piece of paper in his pocket. Woke up the next day, sent everyone a text who was there saying, hey, do you remember that woman who like wanted us to go on the TV show? Do you reckon we should do it? And out of the 10 people, I was the most positive. I said, yeah, I'll do it if you do the whole application. So then Adam did the application very poorly, he's assured me. And and then that was it. And they gave us a call and we had to do like a Skype interview, like this kind of stuff. And then that was it. And they called us when we were overseas and said, fly back from your trip and you can be on TV. And we said, no, we're not doing that. We've got a week left. And they said, look, we'll pay for it. You can come back. I'm like, okay, sure. So they paid for the, and then we were straight onto the couch and straight into season 1.
So was it filmed in like one of your houses? Like, did you have like a full camera?
So it still is filmed in our houses. So the first season was actually filmed in Simon's parents' house. We filmed it at Simon's apartment once, and then he moved into a share house, so we filmed it at his share house. Then I moved in with Rach, my now wife, and we filmed it at our place. Then we moved to another place, and so we've sort of dotted around and moved around. If you look at close enough at everybody else's houses on the show, ours is the only one that keeps changing because that's just the nature of guys who are in their mid-20s. We moved 5 or 6 times.
Did you have to like carry around all the equipment everywhere you go, or
all the cameras get set up, and then it's just us in the lounge room by ourselves. So all of the equipment is sort of all sorted out. And I mean, mate, if you knew how tech savvy we were, we probably wouldn't be trusted with the filming of a TV show for a national audience.
I mean, we can't even organise lights for this Zoom. We're sitting in the dark. So that's how well we're going.
I mean, you guys have an awesome podcast. I have watched some of it or listened to it, and you guys don't seem the dumbest with tech stuff. But
we've got a producer.
This is the trick. You get people in who know what they're doing. So Adam's brother-in-law show, he was the first guy who looked after all of that stuff for us. So he came on board and was with us for the first 2.5 years, and then we had Cassie on for a little bit, and now we've got Ed, who look after all that production, which is cool.
That's so good. So you guys don't have to like worry about the tech and stuff, which is
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. As long as we hit record and then we hit stop recording, and then that's about all that we have to worry about, which is a big relief.
Did you like what do you guys do like in between like gogglebox and stuff? Like do you
So we're physiotherapists. So that's where we met at university in the postgrad physio course. And then we still work a little bit part-time with that, and then part-time with all our other content creation and video making and recording and everything else that we do. So it's probably about a 50-50 split at the moment with how much we do, with the aim that we'll do a little bit less physio as time sort of goes on, and hopefully everything else picks up. But there's a lot of work to be done in between now and then.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. How like put it. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it. But like,
Yeah. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. So having that, but then also it gives us a bit of security, because, you know, that kind of entertainment world isn't as secure, you know, and you only work for some part of it and some part you don't work for it. So the physio is like the anchor that we can kind of base everything off, which is good.
Means we can pay our bills without having to worry too much, and then we're sort of a bit free to be as creative and do anything else that we like. But it sort of buys into being in high school. You're sort of told, go and like make sure you go to uni and that kind of thing. But there will be options. You always have options if you can create them for yourself, as long as you're willing to put in the work. So every day is a little bit different, which is good fun.
Yeah, I think that's what I've like tried to do with my thing, because I got offered a thing at uni, but I was like mentally couldn't do it. So I've just been like focusing on my business that I've been doing for like 2 years now. So
yeah. How's that going?
I have, I think, 8 interviews this week. So that's a lot of editing and a lot of calls. But I have
great action.
Right, he's just creating his own world.
Yeah.
You make it, people will buy it. That's the way it works, huh?
I've worked with some people I never thought I would. Like How Ridiculous, they do like the stuff off. Do you guys know who How Ridiculous are? Or?
Yeah. Adam, that was the first TikTok hole Adam got stuck in.
Yeah, I love trick shots.
Yeah, I went to their warehouse and hung out with them. I think it was like last week, and so it's pretty. Wait, what did you say? Something? Sorry.
How was that?
Was it How Ridiculous?
Yeah, the stuff they do is crazy. Like, it's cool, like there, like on video, but I think it's better in person, because you like to actually see how it all like works out. Because they do plan it, but then they also like just keep adding on throughout it. So it's pretty cool.
How tall is their they're the guys with the crow's nest thing, right? And they drop stuff?
The tower, yeah.
How tall is that? Is it really tall in real life?
Yeah, you have to like break your neck to look up.
Wow. Yeah,
it's pretty high. Yeah. But yeah, so with my business, I started it because I have Asperger's, and I find it super hard to speak and communicate, which is weird why I do a podcast. But but I also did it because I want to like raise awareness for mental health and stuff. So I've also done like different events to like tie into my brand. So
mate, it's a great way to practice as well. That's definitely one thing that probably isn't drilled into kids enough at high school, is that it doesn't matter if you suck at things at the start. If you do them for long enough and often enough, you're just going to get better at it by nature of it. So, mate, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't think I would be able to like speak to all the people I've spoken to. I find it more comfortable to speak to people I have video calls with than anyone else. It's pretty,
Well, mate, you're also sitting in that ultra comfy gamer chair, so
yeah,
you're Super comfortable.
Is that a caution wet floor sign behind you?
Yes.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
It was from school. I don't know why I have it, but I have it.
I like it. I like it. It's good background material.
Yeah.
What have we got? Pangea,
Yeah.
not bad. Not bad at all. I like that.
Did COVID affect you guys much?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we managed to weasel our way into Fox Footy and have a TV show. It was called Premierships and Footy Trips. But you might not have heard of it, Luke, because it lasted a grand total of 1 episode. Our TV show that we thought was the best thing ever, and we were going to host it forever, and it was going to be our ticket to our meal ticket. We only hosted 1 episode because we couldn't get any guests, and there was the shutdowns. And
so we came on and we hosted it. So there was a bit of a build up. There was like kind of newspaper articles, and it was like, right, this is it. It's the Wednesday night show on Fox Footy.
3 or 4 months of planning.
And then round 1 happened of 2020, and we had a guest. We had Cam Mooney on. And then round 2, if you remember, was cancelled by the AFL. And then so was our show. So that was it.
We were
Premierships and Footy Trips done after 1 episode.
Last in the door and first out, Luke. Absolutely first out the door. But we tell people it was because the show was perfect. When you have 1 episode and it's perfect, there's no need to do a second one.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, we can't leave this on. That'll wreck TV for everyone else.
And it rated really well. But, I mean, we won't tell anyone that it rated really well because Gil McLaughlin was telling everybody what the plan for the season was going to be. But it rated really well.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was like our lead-in show, was Gil McLaughlin, head of the AFL, having a crisis meeting on screen. So he's talking about like COVID, will round 1 happen? And so everyone was literally just tuning in to watch him, and then we came on next. So we just got that whole audience.
Everyone was like, I'll stick around and watch this show. So then we did 1 show, perfect, and then it ended. But that was probably the biggest change. We also, we had to take our podcast online because we couldn't go to each other's houses. So we Zoomed in to each other, which was, it was a good outlet really for that time because we spent a fair bit of time inside in Melbourne. So
did you guys?
Nice to,
Who's their footy team?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm a Brisbane Lions fan, and Simon goes for the North Melbourne Kangaroos.
Okay.
Who do you guys?
Purple lights in the background for the Purple Haze?
No, we go for Port. We're from Adelaide.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain that. How do you go for Port?
Him, my dad, that's his fault.
It's his fault.
You can come here again. You can just.
No, you keep doing your
Okay.
I heard Gil McLaughlin and I was thinking, yeah.
So good. So good. I love it.
There you go. Do you guys think you'll ever do that show again? Like, do you think it would ever come back?
I think we'd like to. I think that would be like that might be like what we're kind of working towards in the background always. Like it's always there, ready for a relaunch. Like a mythical, it's the unicorn. It's like Bigfoot, that show.
Yeah.
Rarely sighted.
But when you
Really
see it, it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. When you do it, like changes your life.
Yeah.
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 Have there been like any parts during your careers where it's been like mentally like hard or struggling?
I think that time was pretty bad for us because we at the end of 2019 we'd been on Gogglebox for 5 years. 5 years?
5 years, 10 seasons.
5 years, and then so we decided to stop being on Gogglebox so that we could have some opportunities. And like we had this show, and then that got cancelled after 1 week, and then we didn't have Gogglebox, and we didn't have and like all of this stuff that we've been working towards. And like everybody with COVID, we didn't really know what was happening.
Or how long it would go for.
So we that was really quite stressful because we'd put all our chips in for Fox Footy, and, we'd arranged work schedules and, taking time off from our other jobs, and all of these things had happened so that we could do that, so that we took a pretty big risk to do it. And then I don't know if it backfired, but it kind of false
Didn't
started.
fire.
Yeah, it false started. So,
Yeah.
so that was pretty stressful to try to reorganize and recalibrate after that. I think that was probably the toughest. And then once we got through that and trying to move the podcast over to a big company, that was pretty fun, but pretty challenging. Just like trying to work around a different kind of schedule and different environment was also pretty tough. But other than those two things, we've been pretty fortunate. I think it's helpful that we've got each other because we've always got someone else who's going through the exact same thing. So you've always got that empathy right there, which I think is good.
The other big benefit that we have as well is our partners are incredibly supportive of everything we do. So Simon's fiance Gab and mine, our wife Rach, are very supportive for everything that we're trying to pursue, and they're very much in our corner, and they sort of bring you back and give you a bit of perspective on life, which is always really important. Try not to let us get too far ahead of ourselves, but then also not get too far down on ourselves. So having a support network and people that you can open up to and speak to is definitely goes a long way to helping everything that we go through.
Yeah, I feel like if everyone needs someone to speak to, if that makes sense. There's like if you didn't, you'd be gone, I guess. But yeah.
All you end up in your own head, and sometimes we're not our biggest fans in our own head. So being able to speak it out loud is definitely very important.
And that's something that Adam and I have made a real effort to do with each other, is always check in and see how we're going and see how we're tracking. And, the benefit of it too is that we don't always have to put in equal. Sometimes someone can put in more. So, if we see that the other person needs a bit of a break, someone will step up, and then it works both ways, which is really good. So,
well, the other benefit, like Simon was saying, the other benefit of having each other for the low times is that you also have someone else there for the good times, which makes them 20 times better. It makes the bad times 5% as bad, but then it makes the good times 20 times better. So that ratio always seems to turn out quite favourably for us anyway.
Yeah. Did you when you guys went on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, did you guys use your friendship to get through stuff? And
yeah, I think so. I think we had to, just because at the time we went in halfway through. So it was a bit of a strange environment to go into because everyone had made all these really close bonds and they knew that there wasn't a lot of time left. So we were able to kind of lean on each other and, to help each other get through, which was, both a blessing and a curse, because I think because we were a two, the other people in there also looked at us and said, oh, okay, well, they've got each other, so we don't need to welcome them in as much.
Yeah.
Whereas, if we went in as a one, probably people would be a bit more, well, they're a bit more, they just kind of acknowledge that, hey, that's one person who needs some support. Whereas, the assumption was that we had our own support between each other.
Yeah. That's pretty good then, that you guys.
Yeah. A problem shared is a problem halved.
That's true. Do you guys have any future goals for what you want to do, with anything?
Premierships and footy trips.
Yeah,
We've got to get episode 2 of Premierships and footy trips.
Maybe we get episode 2 out and then we can retire. That's our aim. So if we get big enough, if we get big enough in the media world, we can start dictating shows that we want to do, like Hamish and Andy just pick and choose whatever they'd like to do. Then we say we want to make Premierships and footy trips. We do one more episode and then we retire on the spot.
I feel like you guys would be a good comedic duo. If that.
Thanks.
What would you like to see us do, Luke?
I feel like your own YouTube channel would be cool. I don't know, just something with YouTube. Because I feel yeah. But also, I think
podcast is going on YouTube, so we've got a YouTube channel.
That's probably the next goal. So what are our big term goals? Our small goal is to get our podcast onto YouTube. So similar to what you're doing, we've just got to organise the footage properly and then figure out what that workflow is to get it on there. I mean, you know what it's like. You're just super busy and, but I think you're doing it the right way. You're putting all your eggs into one basket, which I think, is sometimes a good thing because you get stuff done.
Yeah.
When all your eggs are in one basket, you make a very nice omelette.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Do you guys, I just asked that question. Do you guys have any questions to like help me go through?
Well, we can ask. I mean, we kind of, when we're doing our show, we tend to like, we've got these 5 questions at the end. Feel free to steal them if you like.
I might.
And we say what, when, where, why, and who. I mixed up the order because everyone always chooses the first one. But so with those 5, and then we'll say to our guests that they choose 2 out of the 5. And then from those 2, we tend to ask some questions. So the what is what fills your cup. So like what's something that makes you really happy. When is when are you at your best. The why is why do you do what you do. The who is who's giving you a good piece of advice, and where is where's your happy place. So
maybe a tip for you for the future is if you work on a bank of say 5 questions beforehand, and then you use those questions for every interview that you do, for every chat that you do, because then if you feel like you're going blank, you know you've got these 5 questions that you can go to. So if you have, as just a little resource, every single interview you do, you ask the same questions towards the end, and that way you know that you get all the ones that are on the top of your mind out really early, and then towards the end you just bang off all the other ones that you've had thinking.
I should really have like a thing to like that. I would. I definitely will steal that.
yeah,
Go
great.
for it.
Well, we stole it off. I think we stole it off the Imperfect. So like everything's just stolen. But the and like the other thing that we do, which we learn off a few different people, is whenever we have a guest, we'll have like on a sheet of paper or a whiteboard, like the 5 things that we're going to talk about. So today we spoke to Nick Albrook, who's the lead singer of Pond, and we just wrote down, so he's from Derby in WA. So our first thing was Derby, and like we just had that as a dot point, and then we just asked all our questions about Derby, and then he moved to Freo, so then we asked all our questions about that, and then Pond the band, and then we asked all our questions about that, and then just some like recent stuff. So he's got a new album and stuff like that. So, and then that way you can always just kind of like go back to there, and then if there's ever any blank spots, you can just move to the next topic, and you're like, all right, cool. And then the best phrase ever is always, tell me about ... So you like, you know, for us, it'd be like, tell me about I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. And then we can kind of take it wherever we like. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, okay, cool. That's like really easy. That's generally what we do. So, yeah, that's probably like our big tips.
I definitely need to do that type of stuff, because with my Asperger's, just like it sometimes takes over, and I'm just I'm gone.
For sure.
That's completely understandable.
And I can't even, I mean, don't even blame the Asperger's for that. That's just the human condition. Yeah. That's like us. Like we're always doing that. Like that's the other benefit of having 2, is that if sometimes you blank, we don't. Like Adam often will blank on what the 5 questions are, and then he'll look at me, but he'll set it up so that like, but because we've worked together for so long, so he'll be like, all right, you got to pick 2 out of the 5. Pick 2, and they'll go, what? And he'll go, Simon, tell them what the what is. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't know. And then we just kind of get the questions and then edit it and chop it up. And
it's a great tactic.
So it's all fine. Like it's just about being relaxed, and that's kind of. But it's all about like that preparation. Like if you frame it up beforehand, then you know where you want to go with it, and then you can be like, all right, cool. I think I'm done with that. And you'll always miss stuff, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's what the part.
Yeah, I did have questions, but I sort of. We answered them in like 2 seconds.
We're very boring guys. We don't have very good, interesting stories.
And that's why when you have those general questions at the end, you've got your question bank that you use all the time for everybody, regardless of what their background is. Then that's why if you get through those early questions really quickly, you can run into them. So it'll just make it a little bit easier on you, and you'll be able to relax into the interview and probably might not even use them because you're having enough fun and working out what's happening anyway.
Yeah, thank you. I did need.
Yeah, that was one of the big things that I reckon that when we started, what we learned we had to do was just be a bit more relaxed. And it was like, what are the things that set us up to be really relaxed? And one of those things was being prepared. So, but it's this really fine balance, because if we're too prepared, we then like the interview is really boring because we're like asking our questions and we just go dot, 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 dot. But if we're not prepared at all, we have no questions because we freeze. So we found that if we just have like gogglebox, what are we talking about gogglebox? I'm a celebrity. What are you talking about this? Footy, what are we talking about this? And then we kind of, that kind of is the balance. So I feel like for you, just do that. Just find what your balance is. And I mean, you're doing enough of these things. You got so many booked far out. It's huge. Who's been the best person you've interviewed?
Probably David from the Umbilical Brothers. That's probably been one of my favorite. He was.
Why did you like that?
He was just funny. It was very funny, and he talked about I don't know if you know their old show, Upside Down show. Yeah. He said that show, like, we got really deep into like autism, like things like around autism and stuff, and he said that show is mainly watched by people who have autism because for some reason the show like helps them and it like keeps them interested. I think that's what he said. And yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
He's the bald one or the guy with the curly hair?
He's the guy with the curly hair. Yeah.
Right.
When are you getting the bald one on?
Oh, sorry?
Are you going to get the bald one on?
I hope so. I speak to David sometimes, but I hope I could get him on. That'd be cool.
Well,
Who's your dream guest?
Will Smith. That's
Will Smith.
Sick.
That's a good one.
That is a
Also,
good one.
very impressed, mate, your ability to follow up and just ask questions is definitely going to take you a lot further than most people will go. Because if you're happy for someone, if you can cope with someone not replying or saying, "Oh, I don't have the time," you might get 50 no's before you get a yes, but then after that, you'll get more yeses than you do get no's. So, mate, very impressed that your follow up and your outreach and everything. It's
That's Adam's forte. He's a big admin guy.
just outreach, mate.
Yeah, thank you. With Will Smith, I want to do it by the end of this year, and it's like a pretty big goal. But I've worked with a lot of people who've worked with him, so I sort of hope that.
Well, mate, use those connections.
Keep knocking on the door.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I have an event that I'm organizing. Do you guys have any ideas what I can do for it? Because I'm lost. It's a mental health event, but I don't know what to do.
You got anything planned? No, nothing.
Nothing. It's a blank.
What's the purpose of the event?
Well, I'm going to be working with Headspace and this thing called Zero to Hero.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you want to achieve with the event?
Do you want to raise money?
So the people who come to it, what do you want them to come out of it feeling or thinking, or do you want to raise money for Headspace or both?
So with my event last year, it was like a long walk across the beach, and I don't want to do a walk again. But
Bike ride?
well, sorry.
A bike ride, bit easier on the legs.
Yeah, it would be. Because we were on the beach as well, so like the sand was just breaking underneath it, so it was not fun. But yeah, I don't know, because the money is going towards Zero to Hero, which is they do this camp thing, and it's like you go on this 7-day camp and you learn about like suicide and how to help people with suicide, like suicidal thoughts, and how you can help people with depression and stuff. So it's pretty cool. And I got to speak at Optus Stadium in front of like 2,000 people, and that was pretty scary. But yeah, Ash, the person who runs Zero to Hero, she invited me to speak there, and it's like changed my life. So I'm like
That's that. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Would you have like could you have like maybe like an event with, I'm just thinking who would get most of the people there? Like, would you have like an event with like footy players?
Like a charity tennis game or a charity
footy game.
Charity footy game would be nice.
Yeah.
Like like an AFL nines. Have you seen AFL nines? They play it on like a smaller field and there's only 9 aside, so you need less people. So then you could have like maybe some special guests come, but then other people can bid in the auction to be on the teams.
Yeah.
So then it's like, cool, you can play with Nat Fife or you can play with Matt Pavlich. But you've got to play on the team, and it's like, cool. So then so let's say there's you're playing, Nat Fife's playing, Matty Pavlich is playing, Warren Tredray's playing, Gavin Wanganine's playing, and
Matty Primus
is playing. So those 6 people are playing, which means that there's 12 spots available. And then people pay to be in those 12 spots, and then that's how you raise money, and then they bring all their mates, and then you have
they pay to get in as well, and there's a barbecue.
Yeah, and then they watch like a nines game of AFL.
That'd be pretty sick. I do know Matthew Pavlich, so like I met him at the ball, like where I spoke. So yeah.
I think he's got heaps of connections. So there you go. Maybe hit him up. You could do. I mean, you're in Perth, so surely like a Fremantle versus West Coast would be the best.
Yeah.
You have like Matty Pavlich and Nat Fife versus Glenn Jakovic and I don't know, Tim Kelly.
Quinton Lynch,
exactly. Big Q sticks. And then you have the other 7 guys all have to, so guys or girls, they all buy into the team.
I think, yeah. I thank you for that idea. I was fully blank with it. So that's sort of.
you've got time, plenty of time.
Now you've got a thing. And in the summertime, perfect. No worries. We can do that.
And
we can't. Us playing football, we suck. So
you could be the hosts. You could.
Hey, you're the host.
You're definitely the host.
It's too much.
Are you talking in front of 2,000 people? That's more than us.
It's your show.
It was a bit. I did panic a bit, but
You didn't panic.
my sister just got home. Can I go get her? And because I'm pretty sure you get to meet the whole family.
Let's do it. Let's fill the bingo card.
Hello.
Hey, Luke, sister.
Hi, Luke's sister.
Hello.
Luke's sisters, all Luke's sisters, plural.
Yeah, there's
Yes, 2 of us.
There we go.
Hi, Luke's
Hello.
sisters. How are you guys?
Hi.
We've met your mum, we've met your dad, we've met everybody.
I heard Mum FaceTimed at a very convenient moment.
Absolutely. Full bingo card. We're loving it.
Oh, awesome.
This should be called the Family Podcast.
It should be. Yeah, you should give us all some credits.
What show?
Definitely. Just make sure Luke gives you 10% of the royalties.
I think got any royalties.
Eventually, one day he'll get
One day.
royalties. After meeting Will Smith, he'll have royalties.
Oh.
Love it. Cool. What have you guys been doing?
I've been doing cleaning stuff, so very exciting.
Mhm.
School, yeah.
Nice.
It's very exciting lives.
Absolutely. Have you guys made holiday plans yet? Because you can leave soon, right?
Yeah, we can leave soon, but I don't know if it's.
Why would you want to leave? WA.
I don't know. We're pretty good over here. Got a lot of space.
That's great. It's the most WA thing to say ever.
Yeah.
Just loving it. Just loving it.
Yeah. No, it would be
Cool.
nice to go overseas, but I don't know if that's possible for us just yet. But
Not for a while, huh? Not for a while. But
yeah,
maybe visit the East Coast or something.
yeah. We are originally from, well, not originally, but we used to live in Adelaide, so might go over there and see some family, but maybe.
If you can get there.
Yeah, if we can get there.
Nice.
Oh,
Awesome. Well, it was nice to meet you guys.
good.
too.
Pack all my food shopping now. See you later.
I'm gonna go make
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm lost with questions. Usually I don't know. Like I'm.
That's all right. What we can do, if you mate, if you like, what we can do is maybe even if you want to like take some time and then put some questions, we're happy to come back on. Like that's okay too. If you want to do like a round 2, and we can do a part 1 and part 2.
We could do that.
Yeah, up to you. Up to you. You just let us know. It'll be like maybe a couple of weeks because we're about to start shooting gogglebox and stuff. But if you do like all your prep and everything like that, and then you can like clip them together. We'll wear the same clothes.
I could put this one out this Sunday, and then
Easy.
the amount of people that I got so many messages saying how much people are excited to like see you on the podcast. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Mate, well, hopefully we don't disappoint. We've given really short answers, but mate, you can leave all of that in. You can leave us meeting your family in, and you can meet us leaving your dad in and your mum in, because I think that's funny stuff. So,
yeah, I think part 2 will be good. I think we can do.
All right, let's do that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, mate.
Well, thank you guys. I'll see you in the second part.
See you for part 2.
Yeah, mate.